We interrupt with breaking news from WWL Louisiana.
Well, good afternoon. We are interrupting programming to bring you the latest updates on the winter storm aftermath.
New Orleans Homeland Security Director Colin Arnold is briefing reporters at this hour, so we want to listen into that as soon as it begins.
All right, so right now he's getting ready and preparing to start that news conference in just a second. And we're also going to hear a little bit later from Governor Jeff Landry giving us an update.
Yes.
This hopefully gives us an update as to what we can expect coming into this recovery period, this aftermath. A lot of people have been outside recently, and we've just come from outside. Dealing with the ice and dealing with the snow, but it looks like Colin Arnold is starting. Let's listen in.
As far as it's been busy today, as far as trying to get more plowing done and start cleaning up more streets, and now we're looking to address sidewalks. So I'm going to try and discuss kind of what we've plowed so far. I do have a map which I can share after this. Essentially, what's been done is all major thoroughfares across the Crescent City Connection, the Pontchartrain Expressway, Claiborne Avenue to Napoleon to Broad, Earhart Boulevard to the Parish Line, Tulane and Airline to the Parish Line, Broad Street to Orleans, and then in New Orleans, Rampart Street, Claiborne, all the way to Poland Avenue out to the interstate, all of Elysian Fields, all of Franklin Avenue from the river to the lake, Chef Highway from east of Peoples Avenue to the Parish Line. Some of these areas are going to have to be gone over again. The Crescent City Connection is going to have to be gone over again. The Pontchartrain Expressway is going to have to be gone over again. We were also able to get the plows out to New Orleans Armstrong International Airport, where they were able to plow all of the access roads. They were able to plow parts of the apron where the planes park and a lot of that area. My understanding is they could not do the runways because that requires certain types of blade equipment that this company does not have. It's for roads mainly, and evidently airport runway surface has a different type of surface. And so we're going to continue to look at that, but I think that as the weather improves and as the sun was out today, we have received a request from the Causeway Commission from Carlton to come out there and do the causeway, which we thought could be the plow personnel thought would be a pretty straight shot back and forth. But as that went on today, the sun actually has done a lot of work itself on the causeway, and so that request was canceled. So I think that even with freezing temperatures, what we're finding is the sun is doing the sun itself, and having these clear skies has done a lot towards mitigating a lot of the snow at least it's assisting us. And so with that, we had a meeting at 1 o'clock with the plow folks. They're going to continue. They're going to do Pontchartrain Expressway and Crescent City Connection again. I said that. They're going to do Lakeview, West End and Pontchartrain Boulevard, Canal Boulevard. They're going to do the major thoroughfares in Gentilly, and they're going to do more work in New Orleans East and potentially down into the lower Ninth Ward. That's kind of where we're at now. Downtown, we've got some different focuses of action going on. So we did get a call from Sidney Torres from Ivy Waste. He had put together some equipment, and he was going to do the French Quarter, starting with the outskirts of the French Quarter and then moving in to the interior streets of the French Quarter and start plowing there. We have Hard Rock Construction and a few of the other contractors that are already under contract with the city. They're going to be doing snow removal along Canal Street and in the CBD and the Downtown Development District. We have the Department of Public Works is mobilizing a lot of small businesses, construction companies, DBEs in particular, that have expressed interest in helping. They're mobilizing them to work as well downtown and to start work on clearing sidewalks. There's been a lot of concern about ice and snow accumulation on sidewalks. In the interim, we do have some Parks and Parkways personnel that have begun working on clearing sidewalks in the downtown area. We're going to continue just fighting this as much as we can as the weather improves as far as temperature and the temperatures raise and Mother Nature starts doing this work for us. Moving on to the shelter situation, our warming center situation. We initially had Rosenwald open, Rosenwald Rec Center. Capacity there was about 120. We reached capacity and we opened Treme. Treme started to reach capacity as of this morning, which was around 100. I think they were around, this morning we're at 81. And so then we have gone and this afternoon mobilized and opened St. Bernard Rec Center. St. Bernard will give us another 100 to 120. It just depends on, how many people show up and where we can put everyone. I'm not anticipating at this point that we're going to fill up another rec center. If we do, we'll have to look at opening another rec center. I still have Joe Brown on the East Bank, and I have Cutoff on the West Bank. We have not seen a demand on the West Bank for sheltering, so that's still in reserve. And then Joe Brown, we decided against at this point, really because of the transportation, because of the roads. It's a little bit far out in New Orleans East to be trying to bring people with the road condition the way they are and with I-10 being closed. I should mention that with I-10, according to Scott Boyle and DOTD, and I think I mentioned this a little bit yesterday, they have crews working on I-10 from west to east, working to open that up. And so I anticipate there'll be more work on I-10 being done through the rest of today and overnight tonight. How many people have requested transit to shelters and on which days? Requesting transportation, we've had 46 people. Now there's over probably 200 right now in sheltering. Those have all either just shown up on foot or the like, but actually requesting 46. Any accidents? We did have an accident with injury that we know of in the 25,000 block of Chef Mentor Highway between 9 p.m. and that was tracking things between 9 p.m. last night and 9 a.m. this morning. That there may be other accidents out there that were non-injury that we're not aware of, but injury accidents, there's one that we know. As far as injuries, what we're getting from the hospitals, no significant uptick in cold-related injuries. One case of frostbite on Monday that was non-life-threatening was reported at UMC. I don't have information on pipe breaks from Sewage and Water Board. What I can say is, according to the general superintendent there, Steve Nelson, they have not noticed a significant uptick in water demand, which is one of the harbingers, if you will, of increased water usage overall throughout the day indicates pipes breaking. And so what I will caution is that as the temperature starts to go down below freezing and pipes start to thaw, that's typically when pipe issues start to occur. One of the things we're working on with NOLA Ready is we've identified a volunteer group that wants to kind of assist with project managing, kind of how we assist with during hurricanes or tornadoes with roof repairs. They're developing a list of plumbers that are willing to assist and help with residents that may have pipe issues, that have a hard time, coming up with the funds or the need for that. There'll be more on that we will push out through NOLA Ready when that project is ready to go. That's being worked on right now. One of the other things that's come up is all of this and delaying Super Bowl. Clearly, this is not something we needed right now, where we have a Super Bowl coming up very shortly, and we've got Mardi Gras very shortly right after that. What I will say is that Mayor had a full briefing this morning about Super Bowl and Mardi Gras with all the partners and then immediately took a meeting, our daily briefing for the freeze and the snow event. So I mean, we're capable of doing two things at once. One of the concerns clearly is that a lot of these street projects are very close to being finished, and every day that this snow sits out here and we're in this condition is a day that we're losing towards that. But the thought is that we're very close on those projects, and Public Works and our infrastructure team thinks that the delay will be minimal. One of the things that we are being very careful about when we're plowing is some of these road projects, and making sure that any plowing that's being done is not going to damage or further cause problems with any of the street projects that are being done. Okay, that's for kind of the street part of wanting to be ready for Super Bowl. What we know is that the NFL has control of the Superdome right now, and is setting up. They've been setting up throughout this. I would imagine there probably has been delays in getting some of the trucks and different things they need in, but it has not been anything that at this point has become alarming or in any way is delaying anything about having the game on February 9th and being ready for that. So, you know, they are working. I anticipate there's going to be, as soon as the weekend comes and we know that the temperatures are way up and we're clear of this snow and the ice potential that's on the roads, that you know, there's probably going to be some pretty furious work as far as 24-hour days trying to get some things done, because we want to make sure that we have our best foot forward for Super Bowl. But while this has been a distraction, it's also, I don't think it's anything that's been limiting at this point. I mentioned about if the person wrote Treme in the question, but I think they mean St. Bernard. If our third facility that we open reaches capacity, we'll open another one. And so some of the challenges, quite frankly, with the sheltering operation, the warming center operation, we've never sheltered this many people in a freeze or cold event. Typically, we've gotten by with one, potentially two warming centers, and our traditional homeless service providers, as far as the Mission and the Awesome Inn and Covenant House and others. This one is historic. So I mean, we do have more people that we are.
This meeting is being recorded.
Looking after and assisting, and we're dealing with it. One of the challenges we've had, and I have to give full credit to our Office of Homeless Services and Strategies, to our health department, to our numerous nonprofit groups that assist us on a daily basis particularly with the unhoused population, and to my own team with NOSEP, we've had difficulty getting relief in and of course, Nord C. Above, I cannot say enough about Nord. Larry Barabino and his team. We've had difficulty. We've had staffing shift change challenges because of the roads. We're managing it. We're getting it done. As we open this third facility, we're becoming a little shorthanded with staff. So we have put out the call to our reserve employees, as we've done in the past. Hurricane Ida with the cooling centers. Excuse me. We've put out the call. We've already received numerous city employees who live in the areas nearby these facilities. That's kind of who we're targeting first because of the transportation issue, and they're signing up for shifts to come in and assist us with these warming centers. So I anticipate that to continue, and we're staffing them. We're making do with what we have and with the situation that we've kind of been dealt with the roads at this point. I mentioned IV Waste and a lot of the different city contractors who have stepped up and have some equipment, whether it be a Bobcat, front end loader, and the like, and are willing to come out and assist. They know that that time is not our friend on this, and that we want to get this done, and that we have a limited window before, you know, things. We want to get this done essentially, and so that's kind of where we're at right now. And if I missed anything, I'm sure through the questions, I'll be able to clear that up, but thank you.
Thank you so much, Colin, for that inclusive briefing. We're going to start with WWL. Again, we're doing one round of 2 questions initially. WWL.
Hello, Kim Harden with WWL. Thank you, Colin, for holding this. I know you spoke about timing regarding clearing the roads and the snow plowing. I know Mother Nature's going to do her thing, and we have another hard freeze coming tonight. If you could you possibly give an estimate on when you think roads would be able to have some kind of clearance to where people could get back on? Like, do we think this cleanup is going to take us into the weekend?
I think we're going to see significant ability to move around more tomorrow evening.
Okay, thank you so much. That's all.
Great. We'll follow with WDSU. WDSU, can you hear us? We will move on to Fox 8. Fox 8. Next up, Ben Myers.
Yeah, hi. Okay, can you just review quickly which are the major thoroughfares that need to be done again? And can you explain in just some brief detail about why they need to be done again?
Yeah, I mean, we need to do Pontchartrain Expressway and the bridge again because they keep freezing because they're elevated roadways, Ben.
Sure. Okay, thanks. And
You know
then,
what I mean?
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah. So we're going over these as many times as needs to be done. Things keep refreezing. They're also going back behind and applying salt as well. And so some of these have to be done again. The Crescent City connection has been a challenge. I'll just put it that way. It's been a real challenge. And that's just to keep it open for public safety, 1 lane. And so we calculated about 30 miles of elevated roadway and bridges in the parish. All of those are going to have to be done probably multiple times. And I'm not even including Interstate 10. You know, our own plow people have said, you know, do you want us to get started on Interstate 10? But that is a daunting task that DOTD has informed us that they've got resources from the state and multiple other states coming in to do. And so that's kind of one of the things that we have this crew that can do a limited amount of work. And I'm pretty impressed with how fast they can move. It's one of those things that they're going to keep going over roads, and then as they can branch out more, like I said, they're going to start working on some of the major roads through Lakeview and Gentilly to try and get out more towards the lake. And there's just a lot of area in New Orleans East that we're gonna keep plugging away at it. But I think at some point the weather is going to be more of our friend than any amount of plowing that we can do. But I think you will start to see some difference through the rest of today, overnight, and then tomorrow, just as far as downtown, with these additional resources coming online. And so that's where we're at. And I have a map. I'm going to have them update it with what's been done and what is projected to be done overnight tonight into tomorrow. And I'll have communications distribute that out to everybody on this list. And I'm sorry that wasn't done for this, but I'll make sure it gets done soon.
Okay, and then Shareco, so they're staying on, I guess, for another 24 hours?
Yeah, I mean, they've indicated they're getting pretty whipped, though.
Okay.
To be quite honest, but they want to stay with us until this is over. And so we've agreed to another 24 hours. So that was, I want to say, roughly 4 p.m. yesterday to 4 p.m. today. And then 4 p.m. today to 4 p.m. tomorrow will be another day. And look, CAO and the mayor have been great. They're like, listen, keep them here as long as we need them, and as long as they can continue to work and be effective. And so will there be another day? I can't tell yet, but maybe sometime tomorrow afternoon we'll make the call on that as well.
Okay, and then
Okay,
just,
great. Wait, I'm sorry, Ben. We'll circle back to you
okay,
if there's
no
time.
problem. No
But we
worries.
do have a 2-question limit. And up
Sure.
next
Okay.
is Carly Wells. Go ahead, Carly.
Hey, Colin, thanks for the update. So you said that you think by tomorrow afternoon we're going to have a better ability to be moving around. So are you asking residents to stay home tomorrow?
Absolutely. Yep. We're going to continue to do that. Schools are closed. We've amended, we were hoping to be open by noon tomorrow. The amount of snow that we got was far more than what was projected initially, and even in the middle of the snow, it kept coming, and so the amounts are record breaking. They won't confirm Audubon Park because they don't have a weather station there anymore, but we're seeing the signs that this was areas over a foot of snow, and so including here at City Hall, and so I think that to err on the side of caution with Thursday, we're just not in a position to say for the public to start moving around. RTA can't start operating yet. They're not in a position where they feel the roads are safe enough for their drivers, who obviously don't have training to drive in ice and snow conditions. And so we're still gonna ask for another day. And I know that the current is a little bit of like the current feeling. Yesterday's feeling, I would say, was like whimsy. Today's feeling is a little bewilderment, and I'm really hoping that tomorrow will be okay. I'm getting a little tired of this, and then by Friday we'll be back to what we can do normally. We don't want to. Obviously, we are cognizant of becoming a problem, and we want that to be done, and we're working very hard to that end.
All right, thank you.
Okay, great. Up next, we have Greg LaRose.
Hey, Colin, I'm hoping you could shed a little more detail on how requests for transportation to the warming centers are being handled in light of, the restrictions in place on roadways. And would folks just call 311 if that's a need of theirs?
Yes. And so that would be the 46. It doesn't tell me specifically, but in the past, if they're tracking the number, that's the 46 is what we've got through 311. I can't tell you the countless how many were done by the canvassing that the health department and Nate Fields and his team with homeless services, what they go out and do. And look, it's vans, trucks, cars, whatever city vehicles we have available that we can, at least with some modicum of safety, get out there and try and, if we locate people, pick them up if they want to go and do that. A lot of it has been, the transportation has been, I'll say internally dispatched or self-dispatched to pick people up that we find that are, in trouble or that are in a situation where they're out there in the snow. And so, I will say that RTA is willing to assist us with paratransit if we had to make a big move for some reason, but that has not happened to this point. So we do have some capability out there. I hope we don't have to use it, but if we do, it's there.
And one follow-up, have you heard anything with regards to the France Road Shelter in terms of the numbers of folks who are there and any needs that they may have with regards to the weather?
I've not heard anything negative occurring out there. We've spoken on a daily basis. We made sure to coordinate before this started that if there was an issue with any type of system or heating out there, that we would, that was partially at one point why we had, several rec centers on standby with generators. I'm not as concerned about the generator situation now. Power seems to be stable. And so we've got more facilities that we can expand out into if we have to. We'll work with them if the need arises, but I have not heard anything. To my knowledge, I believe they have somewhere between 150 and 200 people there. Frankly, it's probably potentially helped us a little bit with numbers. So we're glad that they're there and available and able to take care of those folks while this is going on, but nothing negative from there.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
thank you, Greg. Up next is Grace Samuel from CBS News. We'll move on to Joe Fossum, Fox News. Okay, Sarah Klein. Daniel Pope. Mike Smith. No one has any additional questions. I guess, Colin, you did a superb job.
Wait, Leatrice, I just have a quick one. I'm
Wait,
sorry.
we're not gonna, I'm gonna go through the list first, Ben. I'm not hanging up just yet.
Oh,
Betty
okay.
Chin is up next. And we have a WDC. Anyone else that has not had a chance have any additional questions or any initial questions? Okay, Ben?
Okay, Shareco, can you tell me what their contract amount is going to be after this next 24-hour installment? And do you have an amount for IV waste yet?
Yeah, stand by. I can tell you for Shareco, it's 168,000 a day. We figured 170,000. The not to exceed at this point is 2 days. So 340,000. If we have to go into another day, it would be another 168 to 170,000. You know, if we go into a third day with them, that's kind of where that plowing operation is at. Stand by, I'm sorry, I got to pull this.
And Colin, if you'd like, we can take care of Ben's additional question offline if you want to move on.
IV Waste is asking for $50,000 extra, which I think is
Thank you very much.
more than fair.
Okay, great,
Sorry, is
Ben.
that 50,000 a day or 50?
For the next 24 hours.
Okay, great. Colin, any additional
I
comments?
think that was 2 10-hour shifts.
Any additional comments, Colin?
No, thank you all for the opportunity to update you.
I have a question, please. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Kim.
Okay, just really quickly. We just got an alert stating that the CCC has been opened, one lane going both directions. But I know earlier in this conversation, you stated that you all need to go over the CCC again to plow that snow. You encourage residents to stay off of these roadways and all of that into, Friday to allow you guys to do the work today and tomorrow?
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know what alert you're talking about, but interesting. I'm going to have to verify that this is new information while we were on here. So
Okay, Kim.
I would say right now, here's the deal with the Crescent City Connection. The bridge will be most likely will be passable in however many lanes they have open, but it's the approaches to the bridge that are really the problem now, because they're all quite steep and they're all elevated and tend to freeze again. So what we've had is, even with public safety vehicles, ambulances, police vehicles and the like, is they start sliding back down the approaches at Tchoupitoulas and at DeGaulle, not as much at DeGaulle, but at Tchoupitoulas. And so I really think right now, I need to look at this announcement that's been made, but the city of New Orleans position right now is people need to stay put to the greatest extent that they can, unless it's an emergency.
Great. And that concludes our briefing for today. Thank you all for joining us, and we will notify you regarding the next update.
All right, that is New Orleans Homeland Security Chief Colin Arnold giving us an update on the emergency with this winter storm. As you saw there in that video, it is a live feed of the Crescent City Connection. It does appear that some traffic might be moving on the bridge. We received an alert a little while ago saying that one lane would be open in each direction, but now there's some confusion about whether or not that's the case because I-10 itself is still shut down at this hour. So I don't know where people would go or how they would maneuver if that bridge was actually open. So Colin Arnold there saying he's confused about the situation, trying to figure out who issued the alert and what exactly is going on with the bridge. But one of the things that he made clear was they were having a hard time with the Crescent City Connection and the other bridges because they keep re-icing back over once they clear them.
Yep. Right now, you just saw two vehicles right there as Katie was just speaking that were going over the bridge. But one of the big main concerns that everyone wanted to know is when those bridges would be open, because you see people crossing the Crescent City Connection. But I don't know if our producers can pull up our live feed that we have from I-10, but you have sections of it that are still closed, that are still not cleared of any snow. So how these bridges are getting on, and what you just heard Colin Arnold say was the difficulty for the emergency and first responder vehicles was going up those on and off ramps, getting up at Tchoupitoulas and trying to get onto the bridge in the Crescent City Connection without the vehicles sliding back down. But then
There you go.
run
That's
into
I-10.
this
Clearly
situation.
closed, clearly still has a lot of snowpack and ice on it. It's something that DOTD, Colin Arnold said, is having a really hard time with. He also mentioned that DOTD is bringing in crews from out of state, similar to what the city of New Orleans is doing with those snowplow crews. DOTD is doing the same, bringing people in from out of state who have the resources to handle this type of snow and ice on the roadways. Now, that of course is a high priority for both the city and the state, trying to get I-10 back open. It does not appear that that's happening anytime soon.
Yeah,
So
we're just getting something in from our newsroom. That alert that about the Crescent City Connection coming back open came from DOTD. So maybe they're making some progress, and the conversation might have missed Colin Arnold. As you saw, he was live with us there, and it seems like we may have alerted him to that new development happening. And as we were saying that, a vehicle started to go over. But again, it's a process that Colin Arnold said was difficult because if you've been outside, the temperatures, and Chris has said this, our chief meteorologist, we would have a difficulty getting some of the ice off the roadways because though we have the sun helping to melt some of that ice, the temperatures are not going to get to above a certain level so that we can adequately get all of the ice out of the roadways. So even later on tonight, there could be a possibility of some refreeze on the streets, and that's why they're asking people to continue to remain off the roadways until tomorrow.
Right, and we've seen a number of school closures continue through tomorrow. The Archdiocese of New Orleans pushed out that they were keeping schools closed. New Orleans schools, I believe Jefferson Parish schools. We have all those closures on our website just to check me on that to make sure that your particular school is in fact closed tomorrow. But those have been extended through Thursday because of this situation with the roads. Now, something else that Arnold mentioned was that this is the largest number of people that they have ever had to shelter in warming shelters in a cold weather emergency. And that really is putting a strain on city staff. He said the city staffers are having a hard time getting to work because of the conditions of the roads. And so they're starting to feel the strain of that. They have 3 shelters open right now. Those shelters are on France Road, Rosenwald, and Treme. Now, he mentioned as well that 200 people are being housed in New Orleans shelters right now. He said they've also had 46 requests from some of those 200 to get transported to the shelters. So obviously there's a need there still, and I would assume would continue given that the temperatures are expected to go below freezing again tonight.
And the number of people at those shelters require a number of resources that right now the resources can't get to them that they need to help everyone that's inside of the shelters. So again, as the day goes by and as the snow starts to melt, even out here on Rampart Street, we've had several of those snow plows going through and making it easier for people to drive on the streets. They're trying to get more resources to those areas. I want to make sure that you stay with us on WWL Louisiana and WWL Plus, as well as WWLTV.com. Just in about 30 minutes, a little under 30 minutes, Governor Jeff Landry will give us an update on the state's efforts to clear up the ice that are on the road.